So this is how you're going to create a quiz or test on Schoology. Or it's like I tell my kids, it's just to make like multiple choice or short answer or matching questions because they kind of freak out when they hear it's a quiz or a test. So I'm going to go inside the folder that I like it. So I've been working in my friction folder. So to create a test or quiz, I'm going to go to add materials, and then I'm going to hit add test or quiz, and you always see that little puzzle piece with the pencil. So I'm going to give it a name. I'm just going to say random sample of questions. I always make it out of 100 points because then it'll give me the percentage, because each question I can assign how many points it is. You can label it however you want. Alright, so I might just say quiz. And then I like the comments enabled because I can write them suggestions or give them clues to how to get it right, because they can look at their completed test or quiz. Okay, so now I always go to settings first before I actually start. And I always have it hidden now. I don't open it until literally the kids are in the class or about to enter the classroom. So hide now, and you can see the options. The attempt limit, it all depends on you. I usually only show one to begin, and then I'll open it two if they have to make corrections. Randomized order, I tend to, unless I'm giving them a paper copy to like annotate on, I always do one question per page. I think when they have just the page breaks, like those little lines between each question, the kids get overwhelmed because they say, oh my gosh, I've got to complete all of this. Question review, absolutely. When they're question review, all the answers they selected are blue. Resumable, yes, because you will always have somebody that accidentally clicks outside of the test or quiz, and so you want them to be able to still take it even though they did something incorrect. And then I always want them to see, yes, view the submissions, and I tend to like it with the correct answers, but it's completely up to you. And then I hit save changes. So you'll see up here that in the green bar it'll tell you my changes have been saved. I also tend to give directions, something like be sure to take your time and read each question carefully. Think before you select or write your response. And then, whatever else I need to. And then yet again, I'm going to hit save. If I want, I can hide the point values. I did have one class that were obsessed with points, and I found it more of a distraction, so I actually did hide it for that one class. So, go to questions. So, if I'm going to add a question, I love true false. And I don't technically follow the directions for them. So I could say convergent plate boundaries are not an example of friction. Alright, so it's false. Alright, so I'm going to select the correct answer, which is false. So this is what I love. Require them to correct it, so they have to rewrite it to make it true. Now here's the issue, is my correct phrasing never matches the students, ever. So I always have to grade these. So I might add one option that's correct. So I might say convergent plate boundaries are an example of friction. I'm having a horrible time spelling today. Alright, now if the kids literally do not match each word and punctuation, it's going to mark it wrong. So I always check this one. And you know what? I would put subjective, meaning you still need to check it. So I would count this one as 2 points, one for saying yes, it's false, and the second for correcting it and making it true. The students hate these, but I love them. So then hit create question. So the next type of question would be multiple choice. You know, very familiar with these. So I might say, what process is not an example of forming a sedimentary rock? All right, obviously not all of this is pertaining to friction. So I could say solidification, weathering, erosion, deposition. Solidification is the correct answer, FYI. I'm going to need more choices, so I'm going to add 2 more. And I hit add. If I only wanted like 3 choices, I could remove that 4th choice by hitting remove blanks. But I'm adding sedimentation, which the kids always get that confused with solidification because they don't look at the whole word, and cementation. So I selected the correct answer that they should choose. I like to randomize unless I'm giving the kids a paper copy. And multiple choice, I always tend to do 1 point. Oops. There you go. And then create question. So this one will be answered automatically. I never have to check multiple choice. That's what I love about it. Ordering. Well, so if you have to have a process, so maybe if I'm doing math, the order of operations, I could ask a question. So I might say, what is the order of operations? Oh gosh, so now here's the hard part. So I don't remember it. Let's see. So I know we need parentheses, multiplication, division. I'm going to need more choices. I'm going to add 2 more. Oh, I think I did these right. Woohoo! Alright. Addition, subtraction. So if I need to, and this is actually what the kids will do, is they'll drag their options until they get in the correct order. Yes, allow partial credit. I tend to do 1 point for each one in the correct spot, so 6 points. You could do 1 point, totally up to the teacher. And I always do the minimum that has to be together, just so the kids get the benefit of the grading. All right. There we go. And create. So then let's see. Short answer. So I would write my short answer that I require, and if it's like for state tests, I also write like that this needs to be in CEE format. So compare and contrast, transform fault boundaries, and divergent plate boundaries. Be sure to use evidence from the text in your explanation. And then I might put CE format. It's totally up to the teacher, obviously. And because state tests are usually 2 out of 4, and then you can even add your own rubric if you want. Create question. So that one's obviously one that you have to grade yourself. Schoology won't grade since it's subjective. Fill in the blank. The lovelies don't like this one either. So I might say blank is the motion the Earth takes around the sun? So obviously the motion is revolution. All right. You could add a word bank and give them all these options, or you can make them have to spell it themselves. This one, if you make them spell it themselves, you need to go and check the answers, because if they're really close, I still give them credit. If you give them a word bank, there's no reason to get it wrong. So enter words that you would like to display in the word bank but are not actual answers. So I could put orbit. Separate each response with a new line. Rotation, axis, etc., etc. All right, and then create. And then last but not least is matching. So I would give directions up here, and then I could say eclipse, orbit, rotation, and then I might have the definitions over here. And the kids would have to match them. And so I have an extra blank, so I'm going to hit remove blanks. And I always add filler words to make it even harder, so they really have to prove to me that they know what they're talking about. Revolution. And if I want to add another, I might say aurora, etc. And I do allow partial credit. And this one, because there's 3 different, I would put it as 0.3. And then I can change the order of my test questions if I want to, just by going to options and then dragging them. And then this is what's really nice, is I can preview. I get to see exactly what the students see. So begin, test, or quiz. And then I can hit true. Or let's do false so you see what they get. And then they have to type the correct answer down below here. Yes, it's a new language. And you would do that for each one. Okay? And that is how to create a test or quiz on Schoology. Good luck!